Alright, this is an update on the Lq4 swapped Range Rover Classic. What we currently have going on, we have the motors swapped in, we have the exhaust manifolds, we have all of the wiring pretty much labeled. We're going to be getting ready to doing most of the bulk of that. We got the intake on, electric fans, power steering reservoir is mounted. What else do we have? I think what we've gotten done so far. I got the hood back on, finally. Also installed the 2-inch springs and took off our spacers. So got a little bit stiffer spring rate front and rear, which should help with the rooftop tent and all the gear. And we also did the fuel line upgrade and the Corvette regulator, which is right there. And then we upgraded the fuel pump to a 60 psi fuel pump for the LS motor. We got the MP208 mocked up in there right now. I'll be pulling this back out, put a clocking ring in it just to bring the transfer case up higher. And we're going to also do a slip yoke eliminator to shorten it up. One of the issues with running this particular transfer case is, if you notice right here, there's a cutout for the drum on the back of the Land Rover transfer case with the offset output. This one is centered, so we're having to notch that, which we're going to do some more cutting on it. And then also, like I said, we're going to shorten the tail shaft on it. One notable thing with running this setup is we have flanged outputs on it, or we will at least on the front and rear. This drive shaft right here is the old rear drive shaft off the Rover. It actually fits perfectly in there. And with the clocking ring, as you notice, it sits pretty darn close to that oil pan and the transmission pan. But with the clocking ring, it's actually going to swivel this up and over, so it's going to bring it over that way more. So we're going to clock it as much as we can. And then also the factory cross member here, which was further forward, we're moving it back, and then we're going to put our transmission mount off of this and then fabricate a skid plate underneath it just to protect this cast aluminum. And then we have our shifter, which I don't think I have it up in there right now. I have a shifter bracket, which I'm going to do a slideshow also with some of the parts that I built, just to show off how I made them. And what else do we got going on? I don't think what else. Oh, the manifolds I tried to utilize, we ended up having to cut up, which are really nice set of headers. So these would work if you're able to lift the motor up higher. They actually contact the top of the frame rail right here, and then the outputs they hit. You can make it work on the passenger side fairly easy, but one of the problems is on the driver's side, the steering shaft sits awfully close. So what I did, I went ahead and modified the factory manifolds where they turned in more at the bottom. Worked perfect. And then also I took the factory LS alternator and ran a wire off of the stator, just like how it's done on the Land Rover, and this should give me my attack signal to run the factory tack. And we also, for the temperature gauge, just like I did on the Turbo Liberty, we took the factory temperature sensor, drilled and tapped the water pump and tied it in right there. So that way we're still going to be able to run all of our factory gauges. Other than that, right now we're just going to be tackling most of the wiring, get that knocked out. I am waiting on a couple things, transmission lines, so I can run the cooler. And bulk of the stuff's done. We just got to get this wiring done, then we can, test fire it and do the tuning on it and get a rear drive shaft made. A couple little small things, work all the bugs out of it, but so far it's going pretty good. But that's the current update. I'll try to update more as I go. Thanks for watching.